I've gone full 1984. I scrubbed 500 gigabytes worth of gameplay footage from my iCloud storage and the external hard drive that I keep as an offline backup of that. I'll do another video on why I have both an external hard drive and iCloud Plus storage. But today I want to talk about why I'm not recording my gameplay footage anymore and why I, in fact, scrubbed over 500 gigabytes worth of it. Just probably, I don't know, 100 or so hours of that. I don't know, it's been like 6.5 months since I started recording all my gameplay footage when I officially just hooked up my Switch to the capture card, then the capture card to the TV, and then I had to plug my Switch into I had to plug the capture card into my MacBook to be able to use my Switch on the TV. And I'd use OBS to capture the gameplay footage. See, this all began last August when I was contemplating getting into YouTube videos where I basically did this, but instead of showing my face, I would just record narration over random gameplay footage like Optimus, DBDR, loser maxing, which you can see in my very earliest videos here on the channel that, yes, I did that, but I didn't end up using the anonymity that it creates. I still used my name, I still used a profile picture that had my face in it. And then after I got back from Florida, I decided, yeah, I'm going to start recording with my face in them because I was recording the audio with through a video, but that was so that I could use the in-frame feature and then just put the audio over gameplay footage from like Skyward Sword HD, whatever I happened to be playing through at the time. Kirby in the Forgotten Land, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. You get the idea. Over the course of November, which I told you about, how I basically kept myself from going out and spending money by playing the hell out of all my video games. I accumulated so much gameplay footage, some individual files of which are 7+ hours. Like I think I mentioned, I beat Pikmin 3 Deluxe in a single day. Yeah, that's because I decided to just keep the recording going even when I went up to get food or something like that. So doing that over time and then a bit less in December and then starting to do it a bit more as I got into Pokemon Scarlet and then I got into Sundays where I didn't really have anything going on where I was like, I think I'm just gonna okay, recording conditions aren't good. I think I'm just gonna spend the day playing Pokemon Scarlet. As a result, I'd record all that footage. And then across the last 5 months of Henry Osier 13, and then the first 2 months of Henry Osier 14, came out to about 500 gigabytes of data when I assessed it yesterday. So over the course of the second half of August, and then the entirety of September of 2024 through the end of February of 2025, I had accumulated all that. Over half of it was the first 2 months of 2025 alone. which is why the Henry Osier 14 album was way larger than the Henry Osier 13 album. I was only 2 months into Henry Osier 14. So after actually thinking about how I actually felt doing this, and I guess the seeds of it were planted last week when I had to actually take my Switch out of the dock so that I could level up an Inkay while holding the Switch upside down to evolve it. Because for those of you who don't know, the only way to evolve Inkay is to hold the system upside down. So in the case of the Switch in handheld mode, it's a Gen 7 Pokemon that was introduced in the 3DS, so that's where it first began. I guess Game Freak decided to keep that as the evolution mechanic if it was the compatible with the game so far. Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet are the two that it's been compatible in. It's obviously not going to be in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl if that game only supports the first 493 Pokemon as a faithful remake. And I just didn't make the cut for Legends Arceus, which allowed for Pokemon from later generations. I don't think that many, but still, I think you get the idea. Yeah, I wasn't able to record that because I've checked. There's almost no way to connect a Switch to a capture card in handheld mode that I'm aware of. The reason it doesn't work with the USB-C to HDMI cable that I bought last November for my trip to Florida, so I could connect my phone to my grandparents' TV and we could watch movies from my phone from my Apple library. It's because it needs a constant power supply, which it doesn't give. I had to connect my phone to a MagSafe power bank that I have to keep it going, to keep the constant power supply. Yeah, it would be really cool if the Switch could do that. It would be even cooler if the you could do that with the Switch Lite, and then you could have the handheld form factor that doesn't have the detachable Joy-Cons. But that's not the reality we live in. Plus, last July, I spent 40 something dollars on this Pro controller mount for the Switch as a tablet, like without the Joy-Cons, because Joy-Con drift is a real thing. Unfortunately, that limits me from being able to play Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which is just sad. Game Freak should really update those to map everything to the buttons. You can do it. It's not that hard, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a software developer, so I couldn't tell you the first thing and about that. But yeah, between the fact I barely looked at any of it and I wasn't using it to create gameplay for the sake of a narration channel like this, because I decided to change formats. I really should have stopped recording the gameplay footage when I decided to show my face in these videos. But no, I thought, I'm preserving my memories of all my gameplay footage. Now I'm flooding it with spam of stuff that I'm probably never going to actually take a look at. Whereas if I take the 30-second clip that I got from holding down the capture button on the Switch Pro controller, I can see the exact moment I wanted to have highlighted and just leave it at that. Now, I'm still keeping my capture card because I might want to record some gameplay footage of stuff that I'd actually want to be able to watch back on occasion in case something happens to it or it becomes unplayable on the Switch too. Like, let's say, hey, this game One Night Stand, I believe I played it on the live stream. Oh, that's another reason I'm keeping the capture card. Live streams, in case I want to play video games on that, which I'm considering naming Henry's Live Stream of Consciousness. Get it? Yeah, if you've watched my live streams, you can see the playback of on the channel. I do play some games, but I'm gonna find a way to better integrate that without maybe it's good filler, but I could also use it to watch my YouTube watch and react to YouTube videos if you wanna do that, because of the YouTube app on the Switch. I am not hooking my Apple TV up to that capture card just because it lowers the quality of the video, because I'm pretty sure that it only does a 1080p output on the thing, and I'm only able to capture 1080p video on OBS anyway, so there's no point in connecting that to that. Maybe for Apple Arcade games, and then I could more easily switch to the full screen when I want to read something from the chat. I don't know. I just know that I decided to go full 1984 in memory hole pretty much all the gameplay footage. Although in hindsight, now that I think about it, I could have actually sifted through it to find highlights to keep. Well, that's what I get for doing all of that. I could have clipped some of it now that I think about it. Oh well. Worst case scenario, I can just replay those games. But I'm going to leave it here for the video. If you made it to the end, be sure to give it a like. Comment what you think of my approach to this, if you think that I was pretty thoughtless and just dumping it without trying to salvage clips that I could. Another thing I remembered is some of it got cut off because OBS took a while to stop recording for the longer sessions. Oh, and then there was basically a barrage of daily Animal Crossing checks where nothing happened. It was just me checking for Jolly Red. And now I feel like I can actually take my Switch on the go to places. So yeah, give this video a like, subscribe for daily videos, and I'll see you soon.